What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Monday, April 1st. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, let's take a look at the point guard position. So of course we've got Ben Simmons here at the top. With no Joel Embiid, you gotta have some Ben Simmons in your lineups. He's the obvious pick, so the other guy that I like is Ricky Rubio from the Utah Jazz, playing the Charlotte Hornets, who have the 7th worst defense overall. They give up the 12th most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Ricky Rubio has scored 30, 28, and 29 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 28.2 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 28 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. Ricky Rubio is $6,500 FanDuel salary. He's $300 less on DraftKings, projected at 32 fantasy points here tonight. That's just about 5 times value. This is a home game, a fast-paced game, implied total of 218.5. This is a great matchup, so I love Ricky Rubio here versus the Charlotte Hornets. So our DFS tools for MLB baseball are now live and working. You can click on the MLB tab to change sports and check the tools out for baseball. They're really helpful. They're going to save you guys a ton of research time. Remember, we added projected ownership, and that will be updating throughout the day as injury news changes. We also added the fantasy points per minute stat here for each player, and we also added a stat that's new to the industry. We call it the hit percentage, and it's the percent chance this player has to hit value at his current DFS salary. And you can access all these new stats even on mobile devices by tapping the dash rank icon. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? So this is not an April Fool's joke. I like Walter Lemon Jr. from the Chicago Bulls, playing the New York Knicks, who are the 3rd worst defense overall, and they give up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Walter Lemon Jr. scored 47 fantasy points in 31 minutes in his debut. He had a 24% usage rate, and Walter Lemon Jr. is only $3,500 FanDuel salary. He's $500 less on DraftKings, so he's the minimum salary on both sites, projected at 34 fantasy points here tonight. That's 9.7 times value. That projection may be a little ambitious. You could probably put him around 30 fantasy points, but it really doesn't matter. Even if he scores 25 fantasy points, he crushes value at minimum salary. There's an implied total of 213.5 points in this game. You've got to lock Walter Lemon Jr. in. Make him your April Fool's play of the day. I love Walter Lemon Jr. here versus the New York Knicks. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the position optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new player trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Joe Harris from the Brooklyn Nets, playing the Milwaukee Bucks, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Joe Harris has scored 28, 30, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 22.4 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 30 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. Joe Harris is $5,000 FanDuel salary. He's $200 less on DraftKings, projected at 22.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's going to need about 25 fantasy points to hit 5 times value. This is a home game, a fast-paced game, in a pretty good matchup. There's an implied total of 228 points in this game. I like Joe Harris here versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, who do we have at the power forward position? I like Josh Jackson from the Phoenix Suns playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the 10th worst defense overall, and they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Josh Jackson played 30 minutes in his game back from injury. He scored 18 fantasy points, averaging 21.8 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 24 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate. Josh Jackson is $5,300 FanDuel salary. He's the same price on DraftKings, so I love that FanDuel price. Projected at 30.3 fantasy points here tonight, that's 5.7 times value. There's an implied total of 220.5 points in this game. Fantastic matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I love Josh Jackson here versus the Cavs. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Tristan Thompson for the Cleveland Cavaliers playing the Phoenix Suns, who have the 3rd worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing centers. Tristan Thompson has scored 26, 15, and 13 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 28.2 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 28 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. Tristan Thompson is $4,500 FanDuel salary. He's $400 less on DraftKings, projected at 28.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 6.3 times value. You can see they've been increasing Tristan Thompson's minutes slowly, and his fantasy production has also been increasing. So if we follow that trend, he should be around 27 minutes and right around this 28.5 projected mark. There's an implied total of 220.5 points in this game. This is a fantastic matchup. Big men versus Phoenix. I love Tristan Thompson here versus the Phoenix Suns. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.